Welcome to the Bridge Church Midweek podcast. We exist to connect people with others and God. We hope this week's episode helps you do just that. Enjoy.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Bridge Church Midweek podcast. My name is Tyler Wolf. I am the pastor of our Oconomowoc campus.
Yes, sir. My name is Blake McCarty. I'm the youth pastor of our Waukesha campus.
And we are in Holy Week. We are 5 days out from Easter, and we have an incredible week of activities and worship experiences. Let's just run through it. So tonight, as this podcast is releasing, we have our first of 4 Good Friday worship experiences.
Yes.
So Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. is our first Good Friday service. It's also our Pursue night for the month. So it'll be an identical service as to what we're doing on Friday with just a few extra songs. And then on Friday, we have 3 Good Friday worship experiences at noon, 5 p.m., and 6:30. Then Saturday, we have our community outreach. If you know, you know. If you're signed up, you will be there, and you can watch for an email. Yes, we are going to be serving at a local kids race and 5K, followed by an Easter egg hunt, partnering with the community, not just saying, hey, church, hey, community, would you come to the church, but being the church saying, let us go to the community. Then, of course, biggest day of the year for those
Sunday.
That's right. For those who call Jesus Lord and have put their faith in him, Resurrection Sunday, Easter Sunday. We have a 6:30 a.m. sunrise service at the Waukesha campus, and then 8:15, 9:30, and 11 o'clock services. Then at our Oconomowoc campus, we have a 10:30 a.m. service as regularly scheduled.
Let's go.
All of the above are going to be incredible in celebrations of who Jesus is, what he's done, and this life that he has given us in his love and his grace. And it's Easter season, so before we get to this week's content on the Midweek podcast, which, by the way, is going to be a quick recap of the Nehemiah sermon series. It's something we are going to be doing, is giving you quick, short episodes recapping the previous sermon series so that you can kind of go back and review what that sermon series was all about. But before we get to that, we want to talk about a little Easter celebration. Pastor Blake, I want you and I to talk about our top 3 Easter candies.
You know I'm a candy guy.
You love candy. I love candy.
We both love candy.
We don't always see eye to eye on candy, but we unite around a few candy things. So
we like candy.
I'm gonna go. How about I do my third to
3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1.
Yeah. So you go ahead.
You want me to go first?
Sure.
My number 3, I just had a whole bag of them because my in-laws left them at my house this past Wednesday, and that was the Coated, and the Coated is big here.
Yeah.
Coated. Coated.
The Cadbury?
It doesn't have to be Cadbury. I did specify in a later candy, no spoilers. But that is one of the brands that does it. Coated milk chocolate mini eggs.
The purple bag.
Purple bag.
Yep, love them.
Yeah, Hershey's has it too, but the Cadbury, obviously, Easter season is the way to go with it. And they got a nice little crunch, a good flavor on the outside. So it's a little sweet, then it's chocolate flavor.
Yeah, I'm going to, for me, I love those. Those would be more of like an honorable mention for me. So my number 3 is the Reese's Pieces mini eggs. Candy coated also, but the peanut butter on the inside.
See, you and Pastor Todd are big chocolate peanut butter boys.
Love it.
I'm not.
Yeah, that's right. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is, I had to put it on there because I was looking at our list. Peeps.
Yeah, I love them.
Controversial. You like them?
I do.
They're not on your list.
I like them in the microwave, but yeah, they're not in my top 3.
You like them in the microwave?
I do.
That's a weirdo move, but I love you, and I love Peeps. They're my number 2.
Nice. Love them. My number 2 is Starburst jelly beans.
So good.
Yeah, super good.
So good. I thought they would be on my list. I saw them on yours. I respectfully left them off.
Yeah.
And I also do love my number 1, which is the caramel Cadbury eggs.
Love them.
So good.
Number 1, my wife and I, we look forward to this all year long. Sometimes it's around like Valentine's Day that some stores start putting out Easter candy, and so then our eyes start getting peeled for this particular item. Whoppers Robin's eggs. It's the candy corn Robin's eggs. Love them. They're literally only out on Easter. If they came out with them in every holiday shape, like make them Christmas tree shaped, make them pumpkin shaped for harvest. You know what I mean?
You'll do it all the time.
Love
Actually,
Robin's
I saw
eggs.
your list, and so I got this for you right here.
Stop. You got me a gift? There's nothing in his hand.
There.
All right, let's get into Nehemiah.
Nehemiah.
Get us started.
Yeah, we just covered the first 4 chapters of Nehemiah in the month of March.
Yep.
And just kind of run us through what the 4 weeks were about.
Yes, so week 1 was all about Nehemiah's prayer as he realizes that his home city is in ruin, his people are in captivity, and he speaks this amazing prayer. And the 3 points of Pastor Todd's message on week 1 was that in Nehemiah's prayer, he speaks honor to God, he speaks confession for the people, and he prays out of his burden for the lost and captive people to be found and set free.
Yeah, that's great. The bottom line of that message was God is faithful to keep his promises.
That's right. And in week 2, we saw Nehemiah in a situation where he realized how much he needed other people around him in order to get God's mission on his life done. And so we learned in that message that we also need others. Nehemiah needed the king to give him permission to go. Nehemiah needed the people to help him build the city walls. And so what I learned from that message and what Pastor Todd taught on is that who we surround ourselves with matters.
Right.
Especially an important message for young people to hear. You are the company you keep. Bad company corrupts good character. Who we surround ourselves with matters.
We need others. And then week 3, you actually preached this message.
Yeah, tell us what it was about.
No, I'm just kidding. This message was all about what true discipleship looks like.
Yeah.
And you talked a lot about investing in the now for the later. And so you talked about in chapter 3, it gives us this long list of names in Nehemiah that really point towards chapter 7 of Nehemiah.
Right.
And you shared a really impactful story about our North building here at our Waukesha campus, which now serves as our youth building, our Hispanic ministry, and the people that invested 20 years ago, the work that went into it, the finance that went into it, and how lives are being affected now because of the work they put in. It was such a cool message, honestly, of investing in things that you might not ever see, but knowing that God is faithful through your discipleship, through your obedience, and through your work.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And then in week 4, we talked about, Pastor Todd's bottom line was, when building, you will battle. See, always remember that when you say yes to God about something he is calling you to do, you will face opposition. Now, that doesn't mean that we're necessarily going to have enemies that are physically opposing us, but we will run into walls, and sometimes it's our own thought life of not believing in ourselves or insecurities, but we will face opposition. When building, you will battle. And so Ephesians 6, for that reason, calls us to armor up with our faith, God's word, prayer, readiness, with God's peace. When building, we will battle, and we have to be ready for the opposition by armoring up as taught in Ephesians chapter 6. So Blake, what was your big takeaway from the Nehemiah series personally?
Yeah, my big one as we look through this book and see how Nehemiah was just so faithful with everything that God had kind of laid on his heart, and that God works through our faithfulness and through our obedience when we choose to say yes to him, and we choose to continually walk that line of just towards him and whatever it is he calls us to. I mean, this wasn't a crazy overnight change that happened where everyone was suddenly on Nehemiah's team, but he chose to be faithful through all of the opposition, the hard work, the things that God put before him. He just said, yes, Lord. And that God worked through generations because of Nehemiah's yes and faithfulness.
Yeah, definitely. Well, my big takeaway is God's work is always worth our while.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, man. I am praising God that we are getting ready in just a handful of weeks to move into our brand new building, which is a Nehemiah story in and of itself, of God's people faithfully working for the sake of his mission in our county. But over the last 4 years of being portable, it's been a lot of work just to have church on a Sunday morning, and thank God we've had an incredible team there to help make that happen, honestly. But this Nehemiah series reminded me that every Sunday, the ones we were pulling trailers through snowy, icy roads.
Dude, heating up water to dump on frozen locks?
Frozen locks, cutting locks off of trailers, setting up, tearing down, spending more time, all the work. I mean, just looking at stories like North Building and then looking at the story in Nehemiah, I realized that God's work is always, always, always worth our while. I wouldn't trade any of it. In Nehemiah's series really helped me remember that.
Yeah, awesome recap. And if you ever want to go back and watch or listen to any of our services, they are online. You can search us, Bridge Church. Well, you're listening to the podcast right now, so you can check out the services there if you missed any. But thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Yeah, absolutely. If you are watching the video to this on Facebook or on our social media, we encourage you to drop in the comments what were your big takeaways or favorite parts from the Nehemiah series. With that, happy Easter. He has risen. You guys have a great rest of your week.
Let's go.
Thank you for listening. Connect with us online at bridgechurch.net. Have a great day.